I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Finally. What the hell, bro? Whatever you figured out, you figured it out. You figured it out. So let me see if I can invite some people here.
Invite
You know,
them all.
invite them all, right? Damn, bro, what'd you do?
I went live,
I
but
don't know.
but I hit your name before I went live. Like I tagged you,
Yeah,
and then I went live.
that's what I did, bro. It wasn't coming up. I don't know why it was doing that. It's weird. I don't know why it was doing that. All right, here
Is
we go.
this
Here we
on
go.
both our feeds?
Oh yeah, it's on both our. Look, I'm gonna go on mine right now. I'm gonna double check it.
I'll go online on my computer.
Oh yeah. Hold up. Oh yeah, it shows live, bro. Yeah, it says
Hold on.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's live on your feed. It's live on my feed.
I think we're good to go, bro. I'm not even gonna play with it.
No, hold on. Let me just figure out like a, a setting from my phone, like where to put it, so it doesn't move.
Go for it.
Okay.
I think. Let me see, man.
We go to my
Let me see if.
notes.
All right, cool. I'm just gonna tag niggas in the comment.
I'm just gonna let people come and go as they please, because this is a debate between me and you.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be up once you post it to it. Then I can share it to mine. You
Yeah,
get
then
what
we
I'm
can
saying?
share it. Can we put it on
Yeah,
YouTube?
bro. We'll figure it out. We're
Okay,
gonna
good.
we're gonna figure it out. Baby steps. It's gonna get to YouTube. It'd probably be easier to use it on YouTube.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find the format I put together and that I emailed you.
Alexa, illuminate on like that, right?
Oh, you got that?
Oh yeah. Oh,
I've
you
never
like
had an
that?
Alexa.
Oh yeah. I want the government to listen to me. Right?
Okay, you know. So let me know when you're ready, because
Oh,
you go first.
I
You
go first.
see, it says Justin. The script I emailed you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No doubt, no doubt. I ain't got no
Huh?
problem, no problem. Okay. You want me to get it cooking first?
Yeah, and then we'll flip a coin. Do you have a coin?
Yeah. Give me a second. Let me grab one right here. Hold on.
I don't know who's in the room and who's not. I don't care.
I'm gonna grab a coin right now. Hold up.
One of my friends is watching.
All right. Here I come. Here I come. Here we
Here
go.
we
Here we go.
go.
Yeah. All
Just
right.
bring it.
We got a quarter right here, right? So what? You want me to?
Not yet. Read your part, then I'll read my part, then we'll
All
flip
right.
it.
All
Then
right. Cool.
to see who's speaker one and who's speaker two.
All right. So what? You want me to just get right into what I got, or what?
Well, no, it says Justin. Did you see what I put together? Just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. But I don't remember.
just an intro
Let me.
to it. Do you want me to read?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead. Kick it off.
okay. This is Justin's part. He doesn't have it. Hi and good evening. Tonight is the first of what will hopefully be many debates or discussions
Mm-hmm.
between Justin and myself, a man with far right views, and myself, a man with far left views. We went to high school together, but we didn't really know each other that well. through the
Right.
miracle of social media, we became Facebook friends, but one would argue not really friends.
Mortal enemies, adversaries.
That's one of the downsides of social media. Oftentimes, discussions become personal, and neither party really grasps the tone or tenor of the other one. This is why we decided to make these discussions face to face, although through social media. Hopefully, they'll end up with in-person debates or discussions, depending upon what you choose to call them. And now, my part, thank you, Justin. I concur with everything he just said. In order to have a civilized discussion on these matters, this debate will follow certain rules and guidelines. First off, we will be ignoring the comments during the course of the debate. You are encouraged to leave real-time comments. However, we will look at them afterwards. We will flip a coin, and the winner will go first, and the loser will have the last statement. Both parties have agreed to not crosstalk one another.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Each party will have a 3-minute opening statement. Do you have a timekeeper on your other phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So a 3-minute opening statement, and then it'll be broken into 8 parts. First, whoever wins the coin toss will make his first point for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, followed by a response, which will last for 2 minutes, followed by the other person's first point for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, followed by a response.
So you
2 minutes.
You gotta basically, as we go along, you keep me informed of the rules and regulations.
Okay.
Because I was so busy writing all my material today.
This is basic like Lincoln Douglas style debate.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
This is basically, so you want to flip the coin?
Yes, I will flip the coin.
You want to make the choice? You want me to make the choice?
You choose, sir. What do you want? Heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
Oh, it was heads. It was heads.
You have 3 minutes to make your opening statement.
All right, boom. Here we go. I'm starting it right now. Okay, boom. Starting 3 minutes right now. All right, so let's start off with now you're taking the side of Biden, right? You're defending Biden. I'm defending Trump. Okay, so I said first, Joe Biden was called out by Kamala Harris on his opposition to desegregate busing in the 70s, in which he retorts he opposed it on a federal level, saying he didn't think that the government should get involved. Okay? In a letter written by Joe Biden, he articulates, now I'm going to start going with some, I'm going to quote what this man has said. All right?
3 minutes. This is your opening statement.
48 seconds. We're only 50 seconds in. He articulates on March 25th, 1977, my bill strikes at the heart of the injustice of court-ordered busing. It prohibits the federal courts from disrupting our educational system. Biden sought and received support from Mississippi Senator James Eastland, the Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee, also the leading symbol of Southern resistance to desegregation. So he was opposed to it, right? Staunch racist. James Eastland commonly spoke of blacks being an inferior race. These are all quotes. These aren't speculation. Even though Biden called out James Eastland and Strom Thurmond as being racist, when being pressed on his stance against desegregation busing, he conveniently omitted the fact that he worked with these men to help push his bill to oppose desegregation busing. June 30th, 1977, he wrote a letter to Eastland, okay? Dear Mr. Chairman, this quotations. Dear Mr. Chairman, I greatly appreciate your support during this week's committee meeting in attempting to bring my anti-busing legislation to a vote. And on August 22nd, 1978, he wrote again to Eastland, since your support was essential to having our bill reported out by the Judiciary Committee, I want to personally ask your continued support and alert you to our intentions. Your participation in floor debate would be welcome. 2 minutes, 42 seconds. And to close this all off, during the judiciary hearing in 1977, Biden argued, unless we do something about this, my children are going to grow up in a jungle, the jungle being a racial jungle with tension so high that it's going to explode at some point. 3 minutes exactly, right there. Bing, bang, boom.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, start my timer.
Tell me when you're ready. I'll hit the timer.
I'm ready. Just let me know when.
Go.
Okay. Firstly, Justin, I'd like to thank you for taking part in this with me. I think we can have some good discussions here. I didn't know you were going to go bing, bang, boom into arguments. So, okay, we can do that. First off, racism is an awful thing. I think we can both admit that.
True indeed.
Racism is a social devil. Now, I didn't know I'd have to start retorting arguments in the opening statement, so I'm pulling a little,
my apologies.
It's fine. I'm pulling a little audible here, but I researched those quotes.
Okay.
It's oftentimes misinterpreted that race. Now, Biden did say, my children will be raised in a racist jungle. He did say that. But look, the world, this was the 60s and the 70s. It was a much more racist time than it is now. Much more. And if you were to automatically combine them 50-50, as you see in prisons, the gangs would form, enemies would form. To desegregate is a much slower process. Unfortunately, I wish it could happen overnight. Biden wishes it could happen overnight, but that's not realistic. We have to live in reality here. And the reality is what Biden was opposed to was judicial forcing of busing. He was never against busing in general. There has to be a clear distinction about that. Now, you talk about the fact that he dealt with these extreme racists. Well, unfortunately, that's the game he had to play in Congress back then. Those are the people he had to deal with to try to bring him around, because they weren't going anywhere, because they were elected by deep southern states, deep racist southern states, like Alabama, Mississippi. Joe Biden was from Delaware, and we always talk about reaching across the aisle. Now, nowhere in those quotes did Joe Biden say, I like these people, they were my friends, we went drinking afterwards, we gave each other high fives. He just said in a professional setting, he had to reach across the aisle to work with them. So he did what he had to do. So the racial jungle could have been an unintended consequence of moving too quickly. Now that's my opening statement. Now you make your first argument, and I'll retort.
Okay. My bad about that, my friend. My bad about that. I just went right in. I just went right in. I got to get used to the whole cordial setup of the debate.
Yeah,
I just started putting down the facts and stuff like that. Okay, so you want me to go into my second, or into my second point, or can I?
We can make it 5 points and cut out the opening statement, and the closing statement will be like the cordial
all right
part of it.
All right. Okay, yeah, I just peeped something there. I'm not going to answer it, but I'm glad he said that because we're going to get to that. So, all right, let me start the timer because I don't want to take too much time.
2 minutes,
Reset.
30 seconds.
Ooh, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, boy. Ooh, we're going to have to start giving us 5 minutes for the next ones, man, because I think we got a lot to say.
We got a lot to say. We got a lot of issues to talk about. This is just racism.
Right. All right. So let me start okay. When we talk like this, I won't time it where we're kind of
Of
like
course not.
chopping it up. And then when we go to the points,
Yeah.
I'll start the timing. Okay. So, I'm going to start, let me go into the second point real quick. All right. This is going to be rough because I got to,
Bring it.
1 second. All right. Check it out. So, my second, it's right there. Perfect. All right. So, boom. Second one. Let's talk about his crime bill. Now, you mentioned earlier that, it was a time, it was earlier, racism was kind of like set in a way. It was harder to make moves. But I would argue that, in fact, that there was already people making moves, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, even earlier than that. So people were actually doing things, civil rights, that all this was happening, and there was results being made. With that being said, let me dive into this point real quick. Okay, so let's go to the crime bill. We're going to go in. Now it's going into later into time, right? We're going into the 90s now. And still, we see that Joe Biden still has the same mentality, okay? So here he says in his crime bill, in his speech concerning the 1994 crime bill, hold on 1 second. Let me go back and make sure I'm on the right one. Okay, yeah. He says, okay, all right. The 94 crime bill, this was a widely known detriment to the black community with record high incarceration rates. Sure, running against Trump when he was called out on his crime bill, he called it a mistake. That was a way to appease today's overly empathetic liberals for votes. But for 40 plus years of his career, he has put more effort working against the black community than for it. Here are some quotes from Joe Biden during his speech endorsing the crime bill and his perspective on black people. Okay, let me check this time real quick. All right, here we go. So he goes, it doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as youth. It doesn't matter whether or not they had no background that enabled them to have to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether they're victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, and that is something we need to do something about that. The cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision. He's just going in on black people. This is his exact words. I'm reading a transcript actually from his speech. Without any structure, without any conscious developing, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had opportunity. We should focus on them now out of a liberal instinct for love, brother, and humanity, although I think that's a good instinct, but for simple pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will be a portion, sorry. This is fuck. Damn, hold on, I'm running out of time. I don't want to go over. But let me just wrap it up real quick. So what he was saying is basically, I'm like 10 seconds over right now. He said there was no hope for him. And he was basically going into a point saying we should just incarcerate him. And that's how we solve our problem. And that's into the 90s with the racism. So he hasn't really changed much. And I'm sorry I went over. You get 3 minutes 36 seconds. Here, I could even send you the link to his video.
No, that's fine. You can post it in the comments.
Okay, yeah, post it in the comments.
Okay. I'm happy you bring up the crime bill, because if you don't think I wasn't prepared for that,
I know you was ready for that.
You'll be incorrect.
I know you were ready.
First of all, I'd like to point out that the crime bill was endorsed by the Congressional Black Caucus in the House of Representatives and the Senate. It passed with 98% support of both houses, including James Clyburn, Elijah Cummings, Maxine Waters. These are all Black civil rights congressional icons who voted in favor of the crime bill. Now, when he was saying they, yes, I understand that in a modern day implication, you would just say Black people. Now, he wasn't educated. Hunter hadn't started his habit yet about the difference between crack and coke. He just saw a lot more violence derived from rock cocaine, which is crack.
Yeah.
Now, we can assume that he was talking about Black people, but we're assuming that in 2023. We're not assuming that in the early 90s. And once again, 98% support in both houses of Congress. Elijah Cummings, Maxine Waters, all the famous Black civil rights congressional representatives voted for it. So are they racist? Do they also hate Black people? They're civil rights icons. You know, there's two different things. There's racist intent and there's racist result without intent. I could do something knowing I'm going to fuck over some Black people. Or I could do something with no racist intent where the ultimate outcome is negative to the Black community. I would argue that he did not know the disparity that would result among the races. So that's my response. Now I get to make my first point.
Go for it.
Okay? Let's look at way before Trump entered politics, when he was a real estate mogul. In 1973, the Justice Department sued the Trump Organization, headed at that point by Donald J. Trump. His father, Fred, was still alive, but had stepped down, for discrimination. Why?
Ooh, I was ready for this one. Go
because ahead. They sent undercover people, where a Black person would go in there and they would be told, sorry, it's taken. That was a mistake. Literally, half an hour later, a white person would show up. It's available. By every single Black application, on the upper left corner, there was a C circled. What that C stands for? Colored people. Trump had to come out and say, I will read the housing guidelines. I will take them into my heart. He just had to say a bunch of stuff, which never happened because the same lawsuit came again in the 80s, which ended with the same result and a minor financial punishment, not major for Trump at least, like $1 million or something. Trump has a history of denying housing to Black people. That's what he did. He would. And if that's not a sign of racism, I don't know what is. Literally, same apartment, same price. Black person applies. Sorry, it's taken. White person applies. They come in and, sure, come on in. This is before running a credit check. This is before running a criminal background check. This is solely based on skin color. I don't think there's any answer to that. That's all I got on that.
You keep going. You got a minute.
That's all. I mean, I can go on, but that's all I need.
Okay. First off, let me just respond to that before I get to my next points here. Okay.
You got 2 minutes, and then you have 2.5 to make your next point.
Yeah. So let me just respond to that real quick before I put the clock on. Do you mind?
No, you have 2 minutes.
Okay.
To respond.
All right.
2 minutes to
Well,
respond, to 30 for your next point.
okay. All right. So check it out. You just mentioned earlier that kind of was the way it was in the times with Joe Biden, right? This is why he was saying what he was saying in the 70s in the first place. Now, as far as Trump denying black people housing or rental units or whatever, is that really racism, or is that just being, segregated, right? That was the practice of the times in the 70s. We already know it was there was still not justifying the racism. Is it racism? I wouldn't call it racism, because it's not like you walk in his building and he was walking you out and hosing you down, and cops were beating you up. No, he was just refusing housing to black people at that time, right? Because this is kind of the way the time was. All right. Also, what you were saying before is about the crime bill, that there was a few black people that voted it in and were okay with it. Does that make it okay? We have to look at this in comparison, okay? We have a man that's denied people housing, and then a man that created a bill that caused a mass incarceration of one ethnic group. These are two totally different things right here. So I'd rather get refused housing than have to worry about driving down the street, the cops pulling me over and having a bag of weed in my pocket and doing 10 years. I'll take, yo, you can't live here. I'll take that over that. Now, what caused more overall racism? I would say that bill did, because it allowed cops to start profiling now, because the color of people's skin. Mind you, he's denying people, Trump's denying people in the house because these were the way of the times, but he didn't set anything that was going to affect the black community to the level that Joe Biden did. That was my 2 minutes for my response right there.
And then,
right? That was 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
and then make
right?
your next point.
Now,
next
I'm going to make this
argument.
nice, fresh point, okay? Here we go. This is a good one. And you know what, too, Ian? I actually wrote that down. I wrote a couple points I thought you were going to try to get into. You hit one of them so far, the Reynolds, the white only. I'm going to see if you hit the other two. And, but yeah, all right, so here we go. All right, now let's go on to more of, I'm starting the timer. 2 minutes?
2:30.
Okay. 2:30, all right. How about a statement about Obama? Now, mind you, I'm going to give you a chance to tell me something that Trump said that was actually racist, outside of looking at some of the things he did and calling it racism, okay? This is what Joe Biden said about Obama. The first African-American who was articulate and bright and clean. What is that on a racist? That's racist right there. You go in there, you ask anybody that's racist, all right? His statement on the Breakfast Club, which was said in the comments actually. If you have a problem figuring out if you're for me or for Trump, you ain't black. That's a racist comment right there. Okay. In 2006, he said he's even being racist toward Indians. He said you can't even go into a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. These are all exact verbatim quotes that he said. Okay. Another thing, this goes to show his perception about black people. When he's talking about, how he used to be the lifeguard or whatever at the pool, and the kids were touching his leg and the hairs were standing up, he accidentally calls black kids roaches when recanting that story about black kids playing with his leg hairs when he worked at a pool. He goes, oh, I'm used to the roaches jumping in my lap. And he tried to correct himself, okay? Another statement, he said, poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. These are all quotations. These are verbatim what he said, okay? And then in 1975, speaking on the immigration laws, he refers to the laws as a quota system and a racist concept. Then he says, in quotes, in order for your child with black hair, brown eyes, and dark skin to be able to learn anything, he needs to sit next to my blonde-haired, blue-eyed son. Now, I got 25 seconds. Look it. I still want to hear something that Trump said out of his mouth that was even remotely close to the numerous racist comments that came out of Biden's mouth. And with that, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Done.
Okay. I'm not going to deny that Biden said a lot of stupid stuff in his day. He definitely has. Now, I don't know all those quotes directly. I don't know if now he was lifeguarding a completely black pool. Well, that's an action. That's a decent thing to do. Did he say something stupid? Yeah. I look at words versus actions. You seem to be emphasizing words. Biden said, Biden said, Biden said. Now going back, but I want to look at actions. I want to look at actions. Now I have more points to make on stuff that Trump has said, but I'm going to get to that later because I am responding right now. Just look at Biden's history in actions in Congress for desegregation. You talk about, the busing issue we already talked about. That was he didn't want to go, he wanted to desegregate the schools, but he wanted to do it right. Because there's a right way and there's a wrong way. And you talk about, again, the jungle comment. Well, yeah, if you put a bunch of tigers and a bunch of lions and you throw them all in together in one shot, they're going to kill each other. If you have a slow integration process, there will be more acceptance. And so, yeah, Biden is a gas machine. I'll give you that. 100%. He says some dumb shit, and then he catches himself. Why? He's old. And that's just the era, the mindset. Is that a good thing? No. Now, the whole, if you vote for Trump, you ain't black comment. Let's talk about that first. I don't think that's a racist comment. I don't see that as racist. I don't say it's a good comment, but he's not saying black people are bad. He's saying that Trump's policies are so much against the black community, you're not going for what you stand for. Did he word it right? Absolutely not. But we're not here to talk about who's a better linguist. We're here to talk about who's more racist. So that's my response. No. Now my next time, reboot it for 7 minutes, for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay.
You're on.
Now, what we're talking about, what did they say? I want to bring up the birtherism controversy. The fact that Donald Trump, before he announced he was going to run for president, so we're talking like, I think 2009 or something, right after Obama became president, went in and said, I have evidence that Obama was not born in this country, that he was born in Kenya. And he kept saying he's going to produce the evidence. He's going to produce the evidence. Still no evidence. 2023. He said it because he wanted to bring down the awesomeness of the first black president. So we got gaffes versus intentional saying something. And then he did the same thing with Kamala years later. He said, I don't know if she was born in America. Now, granted, Obama had a Kenyan father. Both of Kamala's parents were born in California. No evidence, solely by the color of their skin. Did he bring up these controversies? And did he put these ideas? Michelle Obama came out in her memoir that she was getting death threats because of what Trump said about her husband not being born in this country and pulling a fast one on the entire country. And you would think he would learn, but he didn't. Because he said the same thing about Kamala Harris when she became the vice presidential nominee to prove that he hasn't evolved. Biden, if he had a racist feeling at some point, has at least shown an evolution of that. Trump did the same thing 13 years later. So we go denying black people housing, to Obama birtherism, to Kamala birtherism. The evidence speaks for itself.
All right.
You have 2 minutes to respond, 2.5 to make your next point.
All right. First, you went into this argument saying, it's more about what a person does rather than what they said, and you ended your argument on what he's saying. So I just want to bring that up, bring that point. Okay, now you're saying, what has Trump done? Okay, his actions, right? Well, I asked, what did Biden do after he did the segregation? You said he opposed it because there was a right way to do it. What was that right way? The crime bill, mass incarceration? Because that's what followed up after. I didn't see him correct anything with race relations as far as his career. Mind you, he's been in politics much longer than Trump. So after he opposed segregation, he puts in place the crime bill, which causes mass incarceration. Also, who has he associated with in the black community? Who do you see pictures with Biden with? You don't see him with anybody. You can hear rap songs of black people talking about, I want to be up like Trump. You see athletes, black athletes, prominent athletes, taking pictures with Trump. Oh, it was cool to be with Trump until the media got a hold of it, and now it's, orange man bad, and everybody hated him, right? But before, everybody loved Trump. So Trump had love in the black community. Biden never had love in the black community. All he did was wreak destruction and havoc. Now, you could take his actions and couple them with the things he said, such as poor kids, we know what he's referring to, are just as bright and just as talented as little white kids. This guy's actually saying pinpoint accurate racist things compared to people are looking at Trump and saying, oh, well, look what he started questioning Obama's birth. John McCain did that years ago. John McCain's the one that started that. Now, why did Trump say that? He was catering to an on-edge conservative white vote, right? So what was Biden doing? When he was opposing desegregation, that was his way of catering to the conservative white vote. So they're both doing the certain things, but they had a different avenue of, on doing it. Okay, so I'm gonna end that there, and I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna bring up some other points here real quick. Hold on 1 second. Let me get my notes here. I'm a little bit messy. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Now, let me reset this. Start. All right. What has Trump done for the black community? Let's get to the specific in the politics now, okay? Because we already established Biden didn't do anything. He hasn't done anything to help black people. He put them in jail. He desegregated. He was for what's it called? He opposed desegregation. Okay. Now let's go down the list here. What has Trump done for the black community? All right. He created opportunity lines and funded the HBCUs, the historically black colleges and universities. He's given more money to those universities than any president to date. Okay, Biden's never done that. Okay, he's also he put funding into sickle cell anemia research, which is a disease that affects the majority of black people. He worked for black farmers, getting a farm number to participate in farm programs, right? What did he do? Look what he did, where Biden passed the crime bill and started mass incarceration. He started the First Step Act, criminal justice reform, which reduced some minimum mandatory sentences for federal drug offenses, okay, which your boy JB put in place, with the crime bill, then said it was a mistake, yet never made right on his mistakes. Another thing, black unemployment just under economy, under his under Trump's administration, the black unemployment was at its lowest. So when we look at what Trump has actually done for black people, the proof is in the pudding. Okay, now sure, we can look at some of the things he said and try to pull out certain things I say and call it racist just to make a point because we don't like them. But you will not find anything that came out of Trump's mouth, okay, that was, you can look at and say that's racist. That was racist. There's nothing directly derogatory about any colored people at all. Calling out somebody's birth certificate, that's not racism. That's questioning their citizenship. That's not racism. Until you can show me where he says things and what he hasn't done, then you'd have an argument. My 2 minutes and 30 seconds are up. I don't want to go over.
Okay, thank you. You just listed a lot of things. I'm just going to try to go down the list as best I remember them. First off, investing in health. That's a no-brainer. That affects everybody. Once again, disparate impact, disparate effect. Okay? Second, the crime bill. I repeat again, everyone supported the crime bill when it was passed. It was not controversial amongst the black community, amongst the white community, against the Hispanic community. Everybody accepted it. Everybody thought it was a good idea at the time. Was it? No. Now you say he didn't undo it. He didn't have the power to undo it. He was one senator amongst 100, and then he was vice president of the United States. So you're trying to say he didn't do something he didn't have the power to do. Yeah, I'll give Trump the thing on the criminal justice reform. That was a good thing he did. Once again, disparate impact, disparate effect. Okay? You either know you're going to hurt a group of people, or you can perform an action which will have unintended consequences. Which he said, yeah, bad idea. You know who else said that? Elijah Cummings, Maxine Waters, all of these black congressional icons. So you're trying to group Biden in with just saying, just Biden did this. Just Biden, just Biden, just Biden. No, it wasn't just Biden. There's this thing called politics, okay, where you have to do things a certain way. So yes, Trump was president before Biden was president. Thus, Trump had the opportunity to do things, you know? And for political reasons, when Donald Trump started the birtherism controversy, he wasn't in politics. So the argument that he did it to garner votes doesn't hold water. He wasn't in politics. He wasn't running for president. I think he actually endorsed Mitt Romney at that point. So the time doesn't add up. I don't want to go over how much.
Go ahead. You got 30 seconds.
Okay. So I believe you're making these unfair comparisons and trying to say, well, Biden could have undone stuff which he didn't have the ability to do. And he did stuff that had the endorsement of everybody at the time. Everyone can play Monday morning quarterback. You can play it, I can play it, and we can write the perfect American history if we can write it afterwards.
All right.
But that's not how the game is played.
Okay.
Okay? Now give me 2:30, okay? Now,
go.
You asked me, what racist stuff has Trump said, okay? He called only African nations, quote unquote, you know, for the Facebook gods, S-hole countries, okay? Now, there are countries with a lower socioeconomic status than those countries he called S-hole countries that have predominantly white people. But he specifically looked at Somalia, Haiti, Nigeria, so on and so forth, countries that are predominantly 90% black. He called those countries shithole, S-hole countries, okay? And then let's talk about the Central Park Five,
Oh,
where
that's the third point. Go ahead.
excellent, where 5
Let's
black
go.
men were accused of raping and murdering a white girl. They were exonerated. And by exonerated, I mean they didn't do it. One of them was actually just elected to Congress 3 weeks ago. How about that?
Okay.
He not only has he not said I was wrong, he's doubled down on we should bring back the death penalty in New York for those people. And he still holds that.
Who said that?
To this day. Trump.
No. Who was the guy? You said somebody.
What's his exact name? I can look it up if you want.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm giving you your time still. You know, you got.
Yeah. One of them was elected to Congress. They, like DNA evidence, they didn't do it. They found the person who did it, okay? Trump still says they should be executed. Never pulled it back. So we got the S-hole countries, and you say the black people love Trump. Yeah, the rich black people at that point love Trump. When did you ever see Trump with lower socioeconomic black people? Even Reagan, who people are pretty sure was racist, went into lower socioeconomic environments. Trump never did. Yeah, he can hang out with Don King. He can hang out with Muhammad Ali, all these revered black people. You know what that's called? Tokenism. Like, yeah, I have a black friend, but
10 seconds.
They're really rich and they really don't represent the overall black community. That's like his out. While he wants the poor ones who didn't commit a crime to be executed and they live in S-hole countries. Take your 2 minutes.
All right. So let's clear the air here. Number one, calling a country a shithole country, when it's a fact, it's a fact. Matter of fact, Biden called states shitholes. Baltimore, he called what did he call it? No, Biden. I should have wrote this quote down. I'm gonna have to bring some more heat for you tonight.
That was a Elijah Cummings district.
But Biden said something about Baltimore. I was watching it today, man. I was going in today. I should have wrote that one down. But they were asking. There were some guys that were walking around. And they were saying, what do you think of this? Is this racist or not? They were asking black people, and they were all voting. People were like, damn, that's racist. Who said that? Biden. They're like, what? Are you kidding? They were surprised. They didn't even know. Okay. But they did say, okay, there's truth to it. It's not racist. So therefore, what Trump said about these countries, some of these countries, they are shitholes. It's telling the truth. That's not being racist. I'm not going to walk in the hood and think I'm in Dubai. Right? I'm gonna say this looks like shit. That's why I moved out of the hood. That's not being racist. That's an observation. Okay. So like I said, you could try to twist what he's saying to sound like he's racist when he's not, to fit a narrative, but there's actual proof of this guy saying things that are racist. Okay. Biden didn't even chill with rich black people. But who did he have in his corner, right? When he was passing with the desegregation, okay? He had, what's this guy's name over here? Eastland, right? Eastland for, what's it called? Yeah, James Eastland, a staunch racist from Mississippi, okay? Strom Thurmond, another this guy has worked with actual racists, known racists that he called out. Those two he called out in a debate, actually, during his debates, and try to distance himself by saying, yeah, they were racist. But he failed to, and he omitted the fact that he worked with these guys. He was writing love letters pretty much to this guy, to Eastland here, right? So he's directly connected to symbolically racist people. One of the guys, Eastland, said blacks were a lower species. There's everything Biden is doing. I'm pointing out the things he's doing. This is a Biden-Trump debate. So I'm going to talk about what Biden said and what he's done. What has he done? All of a sudden, and then look all the way up to Obama. Oh, look at, he's the first articulate black that's clean. What? Bro, this guy is, you will never hear Trump say nothing like that. Now we got the Central Park Five. You can look at the Central Park Five. He said they should be, I knew you were going to touch that one. He said that they should be killed. Then this is before the verdict. He didn't say that after. So I like how they try to twist that and say, oh, look, he's racist. Look what he said about the Central Park Five. And every white person was saying that, right? Before the verdict. We should kill him. We're getting tired of all this crime, which is connected with a lot of crime was coming out of the black community. So yeah, that was his opinion on that originally. Is that wrong? No. Did he endorse that after the fact? No. Now that's my two minutes there. It went over a little bit, but now I'm just gonna go off the cuff here. I'm just gonna start freestyling. You can interject anytime if you want.
And then I got my final point, and then
Huh?
Go on.
All right.
Bring
So
it.
I'm just gonna keep going on that factor. Let me start right there. So we could go on and say, oh well, look what Trump said about Obama and his citizenship. He's questioning citizenship. That's not being racist. Remember, the topic is who's more racist, Trump or Biden? There's more. I have laid out more facts. Some of these things you didn't even know because I was going in today and I made sure to get all quotations of the things he said, exactly verbatim what he said. I have yet to see you come with any evidence showing me where Trump said something like, oh, I don't want my kids in a racial jungle, just to paraphrase it, right? Or for them to learn better, they have to be sitting next to my blonde-haired, blue-eyed son to get a better education. Is that what this guy has doubled down on his opposition to being around black people. He has stated it openly, okay? People could call that a gaffe. No, the truth revealed itself. So you could try to put on a front. He could try to put on a front as if, okay, now the climate is a little bit more, it's not acceptable to be that racist. So now he's trying to play, oh, look at what he lied about being in the civil rights. And I got arrested, which was a lie. That got debunked. You know what I mean? He even admitted that the most he's ever done with black people, what he was calling civil rights, was working at that pool with, what was he called? Corn Pop. Corn Pop was a bad dude, making up all these stories. No way, man. You got to look at the facts, okay? You got to look at, Trump didn't let people come run a place in Trump Tower, let black people rent in Trump Towers. Did that affect black peoples and break them, destroy black families? Just because a bunch of black people that are not recognized in the black community or respected at all, even by conservative black peoples, Maxwell, and they're not even respected in the conservative black community. So just because they said it was okay, don't make it okay. That crime bill, it went off of basically Reaganomics. We already know what Reagan, because crack came in through the Reagan era, it actually built on that and incarcerated black families and destroyed them even more. And then what happened? Then they started welfare. What was one of the stipulations for welfare? You can't have the man in the household. So these are all things that are pointing that he was for, that helped destroy the black community through politics. One guy denying somebody rental in his apartment or his building, that did not destroy black families, incarcerate them for small bags of weed, and just disproportionately push black people back. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go off the cuff here too then. First off, I keep saying crime bill was not intended to be racist. It had racial effects. And it didn't have anything to do with weed. It was rock cocaine versus powdered cocaine. It wasn't about weed. Weed was not involved in it. And the disparity was not well known at the time. Okay? So now, yeah, Biden said some dumb things, but let's look at things now. I'd have to read that quote about Obama in full, like the actual word for word.
The actual comment.
No, because he said, and I think so. You know, the actual quote. Because I remember hearing him say to run for president. You may be leaving that part out.
No.
The-
I wrote it exactly.
You know?
The first African American who is articulate and bright and clean
In the world ever.
That's verbatim.
So why was he friends with, and the only reason he's president right now is because of James Clyburn's endorsement, who brought him South Carolina in the primaries after he was dead in the water. Everyone thought Bernie Sanders was going to be the nominee. James Clyburn endorsed him, South Carolina. Boom, he was off to the races. But let's do a little compare and contrast. And you say, you know, denying people housing. No, he didn't just deny one black person housing. Denied all black people housing and put a C by their application for colored. What's that? But, okay, let's look at their cabinets, okay? Trump's cabinet was 73% white men. 73% white men. Biden's cabinet, 32% white men. But it gets even more racist than that. Because I'd like to talk about Dr. Ben Carson for a second.
Woo.
Probably one of the best surgeons ever in the history of the world. He separated conjoined twins. So why did Trump make him Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, a position he was not qualified for when there was a position of Surgeon General? Why? Because Trump did, you know, pay to play. So somebody bought the position of Surgeon General, but to give the false appearance of not being racist, look, I put Ben Carson in my cabinet. Granted, I gave him a job he's not qualified for. Well, there's a job he's overly qualified for. Once again, that's tokenism. You know, look at what I have here. While Biden has said, yeah, and you completely misrepresented, Trump still holds to this day the Central Park Five should be executed. He never recanted it. He never took it back.
That's not true.
Never. It is true. It's a matter of fact. It's a matter of fact.
He did not expressly say that they should still be executed. He didn't say that.
Well, you know what?
About it. He kind of circumvented, kind of like what you're doing right now.
You know, our audience can look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Our audience can look it up. But
please do.
All I know, if I say someone should be executed and then they're exonerated, I'm going to voice that yes,
okay,
I shouldn't have said that. Why? Why does he keep saying that? So with that, I'm going to give you a response and your closing statement. Then I'm going to make my closing statement and we'll take it home.
Yeah, I'm ready to just listen. I'm ready to start speaking. I'm going to let you interject as I'm speaking right now. All right. So first, you mentioned about he had 32% white men in his company, you know, like that. Okay, you're trying to make a point out of it as if that's racist. Again, there's nothing racist about this. There's nothing. We have to define what racism is and what people are perceiving as racist because they just don't like somebody and they want to find the bad in them. Okay? Just because he had Ben Carson as the head of housing, that's somebody you want to have. Articulate man, highly intelligent. He's in the medical field. These are things that you would want in the black community.
He should be Surgeon General.
Okay, well, there's probably somebody else that was better for the job.
He was the best surgeon in the world.
Right. But doesn't mean that he would necessarily be good as Surgeon General. Maybe he had suited better when it came to the politics of black housing and resolving that issue. Okay. Also, yeah, but what was Biden's rating with his so multicultural less? He still has the worst rating in pretty much the last 10 years.
They both have crappy popularity.
What was his tokenism? Oh, what did he say? I'm a Obama liberal, something to that nature. He's using tokenism right there. He's trying to use Obama's name to show that he is not racist, even
He
though
was
the
his vice
fact,
president.
yeah, but okay, let's mention also Biden failed twice to become president before this.
In the
He
primaries.
failed. He failed twice. Trump came in, bang, nailed it against
No,
Hillary
Trump
Clinton.
ran under the Reform Party in
He
1996 and lost.
he came back with fire against Hillary Clinton, who was projected to win. The savior, she's a woman, first woman
What does
president.
that have to do with him versus Biden and racism?
Okay, we'll go back. Okay, so let's go back to racism then. All right, like I said, you can circumvent what Biden's saying and make excuses for it. Put it this way: he still adversely affected a large population of black people for a long time with the crime bill. And what did Trump do? He started pardoning people that were incarcerated from that crime bill. Who is Biden's vice president? Kamala Harris, who prides herself on on her record, which disproportionately incarcerated blacks. These black people you mentioned are, I hate to say this, but they're like, there's like a self-hatred. Now, a self-hatred. They're just what we call cooning. They're cooning to make their way up in power. Where are they now? What are they doing for the black people? Nothing. They're not doing anything. Meanwhile, you got Trump here who's trailblazing the way.
Trump appointed justices who reversed affirmative action. If Trump didn't appoint those justices, affirmative action would still exist.
What did affirmative action do? Jesse Jackson?
No.
Where's he at? Where's Jesse Jackson?
Where's Jesse Jackson?
Where's Reverend Al Sharpton? Who are these guys? They're not.
He's on MSNBC.
You just mentioned black people, right? You said, who does Trump be around? He's around rich black people. These rich black people he's around influence a large population of the black community. The people that Biden's been around, the black people he's been around, they don't influence anybody.
Sharpton and Jackson hate Trump right now, and they're pro-Biden.
Exactly.
They're on MSNBC.
Right. And what are they doing? Nothing. We're talking about a man. Now, I'm not saying Trump's perfect and all, but let's be pragmatic in this view. Let's look at the facts. Look at everything Biden has said. I just laid out in quotation. I'm glad, I'll give them back. I'll send them to you after this, or put them in the comments after this so people could look it up. But look what he said, and look who he's worked with. He's worked with staunch racists. All people, what they try to say with Trump? Oh, the Proud Boys, January 6th, the insurrection. Bro, these are all like he set the Proud Boys. No. There's nothing there that Trump has done that is concrete evidence of racism. None.
Look at how he reacted to BLM versus how he reacted to the insurrection. Insurrection, you're good people. We love you. We care about you. BLM, gas them.
What does BLM do? Everything's a riot. Everything.
So is
a
the
riot.
Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys don't riot. Who the Proud Boys riot?
January 6th.
That wasn't the Proud Boys. Those were some overzealous far-right conservatives. A few people.
There was the organized attack. They had the text messages.
You can look at it in a ratio. Well, I don't know if those texts are even. Those are kind of like the media's throwing around, but there's no evidence of that. That's another speculative accusation. There's no concrete evidence of it.
Of course there is.
Look at BLM. Everywhere they went is a riot. Everywhere they went is a riot. Who was BLM started by? Was it started by black men, black women? No. And I'm not being homophobic when I say this, but Jesse, your boy, was Jesse Peterson, right? What did he say? BLM was started by 3 fat black lesbians that hate black men. Facts.
Jordan Peterson.
No. The guy that does the parody that me and you were talking about on the post. The old man, born on the plantation.
James Clyburn?
Oh, dude. You know what I'm talking about. The old man. He goes, that's amazing. That guy. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, Jordan Lee Peterson.
Yeah,
he's not real. He's an actor.
You're not. Bro, he's real. He's real. he just playing up certain parts. It's
He has a
part of
gay
his.
past, by the way.
Hey,
Look it up.
that's that. Hey, listen, I've seen that, but look it. He's not doubling down. He's still about building the Black community, something the community has been missing for a long time.
Jesse Lee Peterson is doing anything but building up the Black
He is.
community. He always says, repeat that, I'm slow, I'm Black. Every time.
Yeah, that's part of his, you know, like he's saying that in jest. He's not saying that as a knock to the Black community. He's saying it in jest. It's part of his.
He also says all women are evil. So I don't know if he's a great source.
Well, listen, I'm not going to say everything's 100%, but there's things that he's saying that you know, there's legit things that he's saying. Like, for instance, you know, but like I said, when we look at BLM, nothing good has came from BLM. Nothing good. All it did was take. You know what Biden's what Democrats are real good at doing. They're good at attacking on the word racism at the end of anything they say. Why do they do that? Because
it's valid.
No, because they know Black people are gonna jump on that and get emotional and start riding that wave with them. That's their way of reeling in the Black community. But then, when you really look at that, the people that are jumping for that, when you look at Black conservatives, bro, they can articulate that. You listen
which
to
is a huge minority. Biden won the presidential election with 80% of the Black vote. 80.
Yeah.
8-0 to 20.
Yeah, that's to be debated. Well, that's a whole nother topic. You know, I know a lot of people like to say that, oh, he didn't cheat. It wasn't stolen. But it's ironic. Hold on. But
that'll be another debate.
But it is ironic that state per state there is cheating in voting, but it won't happen on a government level, on a federal level.
That's for another
That's
debate.
Another debate. But like I said, bro, I'm not.
We have a lot of debates here. It's not
right now. We're just going. We're just going off the cuff right now, and I'm gonna let you take it away, and I'll interject with what you're saying. But that's what I gotta say, covering some of the things that you just brought up.
I'm just gonna give my closing, and then I'm gonna give you the last word.
All right.
Okay, so
go for it.
No interjecting here.
Go for it.
Once again, racism, awful thing. We both agree on that.
Yes.
Biden and Trump, both don't have the most perfect past. We both agree on that. It's just to the extent is what we disagree on.
Mm-hmm.
However, we got to look at the actions Biden's taken now. Biden has worked with racist people. Trump wasn't in politics. He was denying Black people housing at the time. Well, so Biden, in order to get anything accomplished, this Congress, the current one, has gotten nothing accomplished, not because of racism, because the Democrats and the Republicans won't compromise on anything, and they're so close in numbers, okay? You got to reach out to people you wouldn't have a drink with in order to get anything accomplished. But I'm just going to end this with, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank you for taking part in this debate with me.
Oh, no, I thank you, brother. I'm glad that we could get past that. You know what? I think we set kind of like a milestone for a poison that's happening in social media where people just like to just kind of go at it in the comments. And then, you know, I think we made big, substantial strides from where we came from going at each other's throats. And
yeah,
I'll admit, bro, it was a battle with you because you, man, it wasn't like when I got into it with you in the comments, bro, I had to battle like 10 of your goons, bro. It was.
You mean my friends?
I had to go. No disrespect, but I say that, you know, I say that, you know, respectfully. But, you know, to getting to a point where I understand, okay, it was getting personal, that we talked on Messenger and we actually hit a chord. And then actually, when I saw you go live, I was excited by that. I said, you know what? I said, man, we need to make something out of this. I think we have something here.
I think we should put in the poll or just ask people who watch this later. You know, we didn't get that much of a live audience, probably because of the time. We should probably do this a little earlier
Right.
next time,
Yeah.
just to get a bigger
It's our
audience. I
trial
know,
run.
I know you have a family, so you're more
Oh,
time
it's after,
constrained than I
yeah,
am.
it's after, I can make time. We're after hours. As soon as like 8 o'clock, I'm good money.
You know, so what our next topic should be? I think we should let the people decide
Oh, that's a good one.
what our
And
next topic should
you know
be.
what I saw on the options? We can actually set. Did you title this? Did you title this live? Did you title it?
I don't know because we kept going back and forth. We couldn't figure out the technology.
I
We
did
could both,
see that there was a polling thing there too.
yeah. So maybe I can add that later. I was
So
going to say we can argue about why either whether or not Vivek is a piece of garbage.
Oh, don't disrespect my boy like that, huh?
Okay. Whether or not we could argue about LGBTQ rights. There's a lot of stuff we could discuss.
Okay, so anybody that's lasted this long into the live, let us know
Leave in the comments.
what you would leave in the comments what you would want us to debate about next, and put a vote. Put in who do you think is more racist, Trump or Biden, and you can give a reason.
Well, you can do that, but let's be honest. The Biden people are going to say Trump, and the Trump people are going to say Biden.
Well,
I highly doubt we swayed anyone.
I don't know.
Maybe we did.
You know, I always look at it like this. I don't let my preference get in the way of facts. So even if there's some things that are wrong, I'll admit there's wrong. But when it's right is right, wrong is wrong. At least, you know, be honest. You can still be a Biden supporter, whatever. You know, you can have your reasons for that.
It's a very polarized society. I just think the Biden supporters are going to say Trump's more racist. Trump supporters are going to say Biden.
Well,
I highly doubt you and I tonight caused anyone to jump ship.
Right.
Like, what we got to do is get our format down, figure out so we can start on time, figure out how to do this. Now, do you know if we can transfer this video to YouTube?
Yeah, there's ways to do it. We can do it, bro. I'll copy, paste it, post the link to YouTube. It'll come all up on YouTube. We'll figure that out.
If anyone knows exactly how to do that, put that in the comments section.
Right.
I got a full day of work tomorrow. I'm sure you have a full day of work and being dad.
Yep.
So
I'll be back.
Again, I'll give you a final word.
Let me know. Final word, man. Shoot, man. I think everything was said concerning that. I'm glad that we got this live up and running finally. We're starting to understand the dynamics. We're some, I guess the kids will call us old heads now because we couldn't figure it out.
God, we are class of 2000.
Bro, it's crazy to say that's 20 years ago.
Desert Vista.
20 years ago.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Joe McDonald.
Bro, you know what was wild? You know that I went to Desert Vista the last 2 years. So I went to Mountain Point my first 2 years.
Yeah.
So I have a mix between two figures. I went to two rival schools, man. These are, you know what? I think we should have somewhere we have an open discussion because I think we're able to kind of like sit and listen to each other. We've been going off the cuff. I think we should do a little bit more of that too.
Yeah, I
think
agree.
But yeah, I'm really happy we got up here and knocked this out, man. I'm looking forward to our next discussion. Our next debate.
Hopefully next week.
Yeah, man. Shit, bro. I'm with it, man.
We just got to hash out a topic. Yeah, I don't got it in me to do this every damn day.
We're going to have to cover other things outside of politics, too. We'll cover things that are trending in the media. I'll send you some stuff that you can check out what you think. Maybe we'll talk Andrew Tate, you know?
Oh!
Maybe.
That's your boy.
That's my boy right there, man. Through and through. I have my reasons for it, man. I got to respect the man.
Do you watch that girl's YouTube station, Pearl?
Oh, the female.
Like the female Andrew Tate?
Her. Women shouldn't vote. She's funny for that one, bro. She's funny for that one.
She's just saying that shit for reaction.
She actually, maybe she is, but she's able to articulate what she's saying to her. She's not just saying stuff. She has reasons for why she says it. That's why I respect her. very straight talker. And that's what she thinks. I kind of get where she's coming from. Do I necessarily, would I go around saying that? You know, I wouldn't go around saying, but do I understand what she's saying and why she's saying it? Yeah, I could understand why she's saying
Not me, surprisingly. But on that note, we can go back and forth all night.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes, sir.
wish you and your family a wonderful evening.
Hey, man, welcome back to the Northeast, my friend. And
Thank you.
have
And
a
you
great
know
night.
what? If the presidential debate ends up Trump against Biden, I want to be in the same location watching it with you, doing it live.
I got the TV right here too.
I'll come out to you. I got a TV
bro,
right here.
we could go live. We could turn it right back to the TV. We both have it playing. We could go back and forth, talk.
And at that point, we'll know the technology so well,
Right.
we can go back and forth. Right now, we wouldn't know how to fucking do that.
I already have it ready. That one thing I got ready. But yeah, man, this getting it on this format, figuring it out, I think we'll nail it. We're getting there.
We will. Okay.
Have a good night, brother. It's good talking
You
to
too.
you. Man.
Take care.
I look forward to talking to you some more, brother.
Looking forward to it. All the best.